Hey everyone, this is Nick from Midwest Crypto, and I am joined today by Joe from Midwest Crypto,
How you doing, guys?
Cameron, and our esteemed guest, NoFuturistic. He's going to be talking to us today about the Gotchiverse, his knowledge of it, how you can use it to make money, and we've been talking to him for a few minutes before. We've been cheating, we couldn't help ourselves, and he is a consummate expert. So I think you guys are in for a real treat today. Just to start off, I guess, NoFuturistic. When did you get into Aavegotchi? Were you there on the first haunt?
I wasn't. I got into the first haunt, but I did not do the like the initial minting. I found out about Aavegotchi like last October, but I knew it was going to be on Ethereum, and gas prices were going nuts. So I kind of fell back. Also, I'm American, and at the beginning there was like that KYC through the Aavegotchi site to be able to get Ghost. So I kind of fell back from it, and then in April, like right before the crypto market dumped, I like pulled a whole bunch of crypto profits and was like, hey, let me spread this around. And I got into NFTs and I circled back to Aavegotchi. So I got in like right at the beginning of season one of rarity farming, uh,
Okay.
like right at that point.
Would you say have you made any significant amount of money off of rarity farming, or
Oh
have you
yeah,
kind of
like
just like ignored it?
oh no, I have. In the first season, I was making. I think for the first season, I had. I didn't know what I was doing. I had three gotchis. The first gotchi was an open portal. I just picked the gotchi that fit the collateral that I had instead of actually
Right.
looking at the traits. So I spent like 800 ghost for like a really like weak Aavegotchi, and then I wised up and I bought better ones. In the first season, I made 400 ghost. This season, I'm making 700 to 800 ghost every 2 weeks, like for each round.
That is a
That's
significant
awesome. Yeah.
amount of money. Actually,
Yeah.
speaking of collateral, would you actually be okay with explaining that very quickly? Because I know when Joe and I originally did this, we were um, avoiding using some particular words. We were badly damaged by the need for collateral. We were fooled before it was too late.
Yeah.
So right now the collateral, there's two haunts. So there's two types of collateral. There's A tokens, which are from Aave, and then AM tokens, which are also from Aave. The A tokens are from like the Ethereum level, the V2 of Aave, and the Polygon, the AM tokens are from the V3, which is the Polygon layer of Aave. So those go into your Gotchi. It's basically considered spirit force. So when you summon an Aavegotchi, you have to put a certain amount of spirit force into the Aavegotchi, and that's the collateral that kind of sits inside of this little crypto piggy bank. If you pull the collateral, the Aavegotchi is sacrificed. If you pull all of it, you have to keep a minimum in it.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, we made that mistake early on because you put your money into Aavegotchi and you're thinking you'll buy one, and then you need a specific token that might not be the token you originally invested with. So if you're buying an Aavegotchi, maybe have a little bit of extra money. Don't have exactly as much as you need because you might get hit with a surprise fee there, and that
Yeah,
might
I will
happen.
also say that the team is always shipping. So what they did when I first got in, there was no swap function on the website. Now there's a go swap function. So if you want to get a specific, like if you find the gotchi that you want, and you don't have that collateral, you could swap Ghost or something else for it right there in the UI. So you don't have to actually leave the site. I think it's through 1inch that they're doing it, but it's like super convenient.
Perfect. I'm showing my age then, or showing my lack of participation in the last few months.
Yeah, I think it's a more recent, like in the last couple, like maybe in the last month. I just noticed it really like recently, actually.
Now, yeah, swap features are the best. Whenever we're doing something, be it, I don't think we've really done too much NFTs, but we were getting burned a little bit on yield farming, and it was really nice when they had the spot trading on site, so you could like lose your money faster.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
But
no,
yeah,
no, that's good.
a lot of people in the comment section were asking for a video about this, and my friend he introduced me to your channel, and so I think we should. It would be good to start. What is Aavegotchi and the Gotchiverse?
So Aavegotchi, I guess the way I like to think of it, it's like a crypto financial instrument because it's like a little crypto bank. And the tokens that you put in it, the A tokens, are interest bearing tokens. So they gain interest regardless of where they are, but you're putting it in this Aavegotchi. And the whole Aavegotchi, like kind of Gotchiverse, is the idea of a play to earn crypto game. So Clash of Clans has been like, I guess, what people are describing what they think the game is going to be. It's basically going to be yield farming where you have Aavegotchi. The land will produce another NFT. I think it's an ERC 720 token, the Gotchis Alchemica. There are 4 of them. And you can either, buy land and then create installations to harvest it more efficiently, or you can walk around in the Gotchiverse just collecting it because there's going to be constant spillover from other people's land and or harvesters. And eventually there'll be a free-to-play function, so like you can get in with a burnable NFT and walk around the Gotchiverse and try to collect Gotchis Alchemica. There's going to be a dex inside of in the Gotchiverse so that you can trade or stake that Gotchis Alchemica, and then that will be what you use to build your installations. So it's going to be a play-to-earn game with a little crypto bank that has like different rarity and is composable, meaning that you can add other wearables, which are ERC 1155, another type of NFT, to your NFT, the Aavegotchi, to give it different, like more rarity, more value.
Yeah, that's awesome. So like you were saying earlier, the Aavegotchi itself is almost like a wallet to hold these other NFTs, which are the wearables.
Yeah, and there's also like we were talking about rarity farming. When you get your rewards, it goes into your Aavegotchi's pocket. So like the way I like to think about it is like if the IRS comes and talks to me, it's like I didn't earn that; it was the Aavegotchi. It's in his pocket, not mine. Like, so hopefully that's Gary Gensler's not going to go for that, but we'll see.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was a digital ghost. It wasn't me.
Yeah, it wasn't me.
So with the wearables, I guess so. There's different traits that. When you get an Aavegotchi, they have different traits. So the wearables, can they change those traits? Can they increase the rarity of your Aavegotchi?
Yeah, the wearables will increase both the base rarity score, which is the score, like when you summon the portal, when you try to pull out the Aavegotchis, you get 10 of them at first, and you have to choose one. And it's all Chainlink VRF where it's like randomized. So based on the traits of that naked Aavegotchi, you'll get a rarity score. So the traits, there's 6 of them. 2 of them cannot be changed. The 4 that can be are energy, aggression, spookiness, brain size. Right now, the dev team in our weekly talks has talked about, like, because I host a hangout every week in the Aavegotchi Discord, they've talked about giving those traits like usefulness in the game. Like high energy Aavegotchi will move fast, but it won't be able to hold as much. Where a lower energy Gotchi will move slower, but it's like a tank; it can carry a lot more, I guess, of the Gotchis Alchemica. Then there are 2 other traits, eye shape and eye color, which cannot be changed by wearables. The other 4 traits can be changed. You can add wearables that will either lower the score or raise the score of the trait. And this is based on like a curve. So a score that's near 50 is considered super common. A score going up to 99 or 0 is considered super rare. So you, depending on the wearables, like you can push those scores up and down to make your Aavegotchi more rare.
Awesome. So I guess that overall too, like, increase the value if you wanted to sell your Aavegotchi on the bazaar.
Yeah, it'll increase the value for resale, but it'll also increase the value during rarity farming.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now with the land auction that just happened, so what exactly do the boosters do on the land? Because I saw a lot of those.
Okay, so the boost, there's the 4 different types of Alchemica. So each parcel of land will come with a breakdown of Alchemica. No matter, even without a boost, they're going to have a little of all 4. The boosts are like a guaranteed for the first like basic iteration of the game before, like there's going to be these great battles. There's supposed to be 9 of them. So between now and the first great battle, all of the parcels that have boost will have extra of that Alchemica. So if it has a Keck boost, it's going to have extra Keck. But after the first battle, the boost won't be replenished, only the land itself. So it's like we found that out at like kind of think in the middle of the auction, which kind of for everybody changed the market value of high boost parcels because, some people are paying 45,000 ghosts to get like a one that has a Keck boost, but that boost is only one time really. So is it worth that trade-off? So it's like, you got to think of all these economics in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Meanwhile, they could buy just multiple parcels and get even more Keck from that way.
Yeah, because every replenishing, that the Chainlink VRF will be rolled again for that parcel, where the boost is just one time.
So I guess we can get into this since we are talking about the recent auction. Is the GBM model, if you want to just explain the bid to earn model that Aavegotchi's been introducing.
Yeah, so a GBM auction is a bid to earn auction, meaning that when you, in a standard minting situation for NFTs, it's first come, first serve. It's they're minting, there's a contract, and whoever gets to the website and pays higher gas gets the NFT. A lot of times what happens is bigger players, whales, can kind of swim in and then jack the gas up and basically buy up the whole mint before the little guy can get anything. And then what ends up happening is they flip it on the secondary. And that actually happened in Haunt 1 where like I think it was $100, 100 goes per gotchi for the mint, but it sold out in less than a minute. And then instantly on this secondary market for the Aavegotchi, which is the bazaar, the price jumped to 300, 400, 500 ghosts. So people were pissed. So with the GVM, it takes away the ability for whales to do that because price discovery happens in the auction. The way Aavegotchi does it, it's a 3-day auction, and every time you throw up a bid, your money gets locked into a contract. It's an escrow like contract, and that money is sitting there. And if your bid gets outbid, depending on the amount of the outbid, you get your money back plus an incentive between 1 and 10%. So on this last land auction, we had just the incentive between 1 and 10, but in the Haunt 2 wearable and portal auction, they had like different like incentives. So you could actually get up to 30%. It was called degen mode if you got outbid on certain portals. So people made like, I know people who made 50% of what they walked into the auction with being outbid. So the idea is like with these auctions, price discovery happens in the auction, and then it's much harder for the whale to go on the secondary after the auction and profit. Most times the floor kind of dips a little before it goes up again, but you won't see the, buying it at mint and then selling it for 5, 10x immediately. So it kind of evens out everything. If you're a small player, you get an incentive if you lose, so you can build your little bag, and it's fairer. I like it a lot.
Yeah, I remember in the auction, the land auction, I made a few hundred ghosts just off of my bids that got outbid. And I have a couple of friends that they missed the auction, but they want to buy land and they don't have an Aavegotchi at all. So people that don't have an Aavegotchi, will they be able to play in the game?
They'll be able to play if they could use a liquidator to play, which is the free to play like burnable NFT version. They can also rent Aavegotchi. That's like a feature that's going to be coming out soon where there's going to be Aavegotchi lending and Aavegotchi rentals, similar to Axie, where say I have 17 Aavegotchis. I can only realistically play with one at a time. So the other 16 are kind of in limbo. I can rent them to you, or like I'm in a guild, I can lend them to you. And then part of that contract is you get to use the Aavegotchi. I get a flat rate fee, and then part of what your yield is running around in the game with my gotchi. So if you have the land, you can till your land with a rented Aavegotchi, or you can go to a guild and then have somebody pay them a fee for them to do it.
So it's just another way, I guess, to you can make passive income if you have more than one Aavegotchi and you're only going to be playing as one.
Yeah.
So now, how will the guilds work exactly? Like,
so the guilds
Yeah.
right now, the way they're described is supposed to be based on a wearable. So you choose a wearable. Like I started a guild with Webb Hammond. It's called the Anonymous.Guild. So we use the Guy Fawkes mask, the Anonymous mask, and the Raffle, any Raffle pretty much. So if you have, the way we're structuring our guild is if you have those wearables, you're part of the guild. But our guild, the intentions is to build a DAO. So the Anon mask and the Raffle for us will be the governance token for the DAO. Other guilds are doing it where they have a whole bunch of wearables, and if you have that wearable, you're part of the guild. So you're part of that crew. So in the realm, a lot of guilds are buying up plots of land and in certain districts and calling it like Portal Mage Town or Abe Chan Town or like Gotchi Farmy Town. There's a whole bunch of them at this point. So it's kind of like just creating your own little clan, your own clique that you're going to run around with in the game and basically kill the free-to-play players.
And even compete to see who can deck out their land to be the most upgraded and who can farm the most alchemica. So it's going to be very fun to see what districts are ahead of each other.
Yeah, it's like the more I think about this game, it's very Inception level because it's like a thing within a thing, like the yields. Like each district is going to have its own DAO. So if you have a DAO that has enough, like has a treasury and is doing its own thing, that DAO could be investing and you could be earning yield off of your DAO from the district that you're in, besides just the video game that you're playing. So it's kind of like, depending on what people are doing, if you set up dApps on your parcels, you can earn passively. I was trying to put together a thing where I put a whole bunch of homeless Aavegotchis, like beggar gotchis, all over the map. So like if you interact with it and tip it a little gotcha alchemica, do a little dance, and that's passive income right there.
That's awesome.
Yeah, the coder Dan kind of frowned upon it, and he said that I'd probably lower the property values of different districts if I kept doing that. I'd be a street performer. I got to figure out a different hustle.
Yeah, what was cool in the recent article, they described the whole DAO per district, and they said you guys can possibly vote on lights and different types of roads based on the DAO.
Yeah, it's going to be, we get to choose, what we want. Like you're in that district, you own a parcel. I don't know. We haven't decided yet as a DAO, like as the Aavegotchi DAO, how voting power would be assigned within the districts for the DAOs. Is it based on the number of pixels in your plot? Is it based on a certain amount of ghosts? Is it one vote per parcel? We're still like kind of figuring all that out, but it's all very interesting.
Yeah, it seems like District 1 really went up in value. That seems to be the Hamptons of the Gotchiverse.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to get a District 1. I remember I put a lot of bids on that, and luckily I got one, though.
Yeah.
Is there an intrinsic value to District 1, or is it just one is a number people like? And
it's just closer to the Great Portal, we're assuming. So a lot of people probably walking by and etc. So I think long-term play, I think those parcels near the inner where people spawn will probably go for a lot.
Yeah, because the idea is that, like, it's all speculation at this point, but if you're in a parcel that gets a lot of traffic, foot traffic, and you set up a dApp, you can make good money. Like if I want with Music City Gotchi Gang to set up like merchandise, because I have my own merch that's like just one, custom one of one type thing. If I want to sell like my baseball jersey, I could do that on the dApp, and the perfect place to do it would be where everybody spawns.
Oh, wow. I didn't even think about the so the Coder Dan and team have been talking about introducing your own dApps into the game, kind of like what you're talking about.
Yeah, they've talked about the idea, like very basically, that each parcel will have a SDK developer kit. I don't know what that means because I'm not a developer, but the idea is that if you have basic development skills, you'd be able to develop a smart contract or a dApp on your parcel. So that could be selling merch. That could be the beggar gotchi. It could be like for me with my live streams, I could host it there, and you come to my dApp, my parcel, and you come into my lounge, and then pay me a little gotcha alchemica, and you can watch my stream. It's going to be the idea. Like a lot of people think of our metaverse, the Gotchiverse, as like play to earn, just a simple like crypto farming game. But the way the team is framing it, the idea is this is Web3. Like the idea that a parcel is now a website, and it's going to have a 3-word ship posting, Gotchi voice or something like that, like address. And that is the address. So even some of the value of these parcels is based on the name of the parcel, not so much even where it is.
Right. Kind of like how a website with a good name or a good placement tends to be. Well, I guess placement. Why am I saying that? They aren't physically, you know what I mean? A website with a good URL tends to be worth a lot more.
Yeah,
I like that.
So I hear a lot about like people want to get land in the Citadel, and so what is going to happen outside of the Citadel when that comes out?
So from what the team has said so far, the idea is that the Citadel is the safe space. Mm-hmm. So there's not going to be, liquidators will only get in once the great battles like kind of happen.
When the walls drop, I guess.
When the walls drop, the force field sort of. The grid is going to be like the Wild Wild West. So the way they've kind of described it is the grid parcels will have bigger boost, a larger return, a larger reward, because it's going to be riskier because you're out in the middle of anywhere being attacked by all these free-to-play players. So if you set up installation, they can attack and knock down your walls. If you don't have installations, they can just farm the alchemica. So it's going to be riskier. So the boost on that land is supposed to be higher. The yield will be higher. So we've speculated that we think that land will be cheaper because it's not like, The Citadel is like being in London or like being in New York City, and like the grid is like being, you know, in Albany, I guess, like, you know, just somewhere
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
middle of
yeah.
upstate New York. And it's like, it's nice, and you might get, you know, you have more timber there on that land, but people don't really want to be out there.
I
Yeah.
find
So
Albany pretty
yeah.
pleasant, but
So it's like high risk, high reward.
Exactly. Yeah.
So these liquidators, are they going to be like in? Is there going to be almost factions or groups, or are you going to be swarmed by them, or is it going to be just a couple at a time? Like, how will that work?
I guess
When the,
like we talked about the idea of like liquidators forming their own guild, because
yeah.
right now in the game we're supposed to be able to have text chat. So if we're walking around in the game, we'll
Mhm.
be able to text chat with each other. If you have a guild and a Gotchi lodge, you could do global voice chat. So if
Oh
you have the
wow.
guild wearable, I can start a stream and everybody that's in the guild can then tune in while they're in the game. We're not sure if liquidators will have any of those features. Like they probably won't have the voice chat. I don't know if they'll have the text chat. So I think they're going to be swarming once they do get in because it's free to play. But I'm excited because like I got all my wearables ready. Like they've dropped some alpha recently that hand wearables will be very important in the game. So people have been buying up all the weapons essentially because basically the free to play is beautiful because it brings more players in. But as an
Yeah.
OG, I think it's great because you're just giving me all these lambs to the slaughter. They're going to be trying to get back
Yeah. Yeah.
to get their, you know, their freebie, and I'm just going to be out there slaying them, taking it, slaying them, taking it. So it's an interesting dynamic.
Yeah. So how exactly can these free to play players earn money playing this game?
Yeah,
Or yeah.
the idea is they'll come in, they'll have a burnable NFT, meaning there's going to be a time limit. So they have to go into the Gotchiverse, they have to collect as much Gotchis Alchemica as they can, and then I guess they have to get back to their spawn point before like that timer, that NFT burns out. If they can do that, then they'll get everything they have. They can go to the decks and either sell it for Ghost or for Glamour, which is going to be another like thing that helps to build the installations, or a different cryptocurrency. We were joking around about getting Gotchis Alchemica on Aave and then being able to stake it there, and like, you know, so there'll be ways for them to offload to different currencies with the idea that if they collect enough Alchemica, they can eventually get the Ghost to get their own Gotchi.
Yeah, so I guess it gives them more of a reason to play the game and get
Yeah.
more people
hope.
involved.
Yeah, they can always rent also. Like it's easier, like because the idea is that the gotchis just going to be more powerful. Like they
Yeah.
don't die; they just get stunned unless you go into the arena. And there's been speculation about that. Like we're talking about Spirit Force. They've talked about if you do a battle in the arena 1-on-1, whoever loses their Spirit Force, and potentially the gotchi gets sacrificed. They've
Oh
also
wow.
talked about it like that they lose a part of the Spirit Force, and the gotchi gets stunned, like kind of knocked out until you add more Spirit Force. So there's going to be a lot of degen behavior, trust me.
That's awesome. And this is just so everybody that doesn't know, this is all going to be on one huge map, right? Because I heard that it'll take an hour to walk across the map if you were just to walk straight across.
Yeah, just one huge map.
That's
Like
awesome.
the way they've mapped it out is like if you think of the parcels, a humble parcel is an 8x8, like pixels, I guess, 8x8. One of those like squares in that 8x8 is the size of an Aavegotchi. So just think of the Citadel by itself, like how many parcels there
Yeah,
are. It's
yeah.
gonna be crazy.
I think there was like, I might be wrong. I think I heard like 16,000 parcels in the Citadel alone.
55,000.
Oh wow.
Yeah, there's
It's a
going to
lot
be
more.
420,069. They picked that number very specifically,
Yeah.
uh, but that's going to be over 3 acts, which will take 3 or 4 years.
Oh wow. Yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah, so the next upcoming auction, which happens December 2nd through 5th, GVM auction, it will only be for 7,000 parcels. And then they will do a raffle, I think, for another 3,000 the week after, which I think is good because we just like sold, 20,000 parcels just came into circulation. So they were initially going to do, I think, another 15,000 or 20,000 parcels, but they smartly pared that back because like everybody's like probably tapped for liquidity at this point.
Yeah. So I'm not sure if we covered this earlier when we were recording or not, but so how do these like the raffles work? How do you get the raffle tickets and get
Okay,
involved?
there's two ways to do. Like when you enter the Gotchiverse, the Aavegotchi ecosystem, most people assume you have to start with Aavegotchi, but you actually don't. You start with just buying Ghost. Having Ghost allows you to vote in our DAO. If you take that Ghost and you stake it with Aavegotchi, because they have different ways to stake it, I do it the simple way. Just straight Ghost staked. You earn something called friends. So for every Ghost that you have staked, you earn one friend a day. And then you can buy with those friends, which is another NFT. You can't transfer them, but they stay with your Gotchi. You can buy raffle tickets. So if it's a raffle for portals, if it's a raffle for land plots, they're called drop tickets, which is 10,000 friends per ticket. So if I have 10,000 ghosts staked, I earn one of those drop tickets a day. If it's a wearables raffle, they have different classes of wearables: common, uncommon, rare, legendary, mythical, and then godlike. It goes from 250 friends all the way up to, I think, 50,000 friends to get one of the godlike tickets. So you could stake and then get those tickets and either sell them on the market, or you can buy them instead if you want to just jump in and buy tickets. And then when the raffle happens, you throw all your tickets in, Chainlink VRF, and then hopefully you win.
Cool, cool. And as you mentioned earlier, those tickets can really end up being a really potent source of passive income, right?
Yeah, I've been pining and like kind of like plotting to basically retire off of those tickets, because I did the math. If I do 30,000 ghost stake, I'm earning, or we'll say 40,000 just for the easy number. 40,000 ghost staked. That earns me 4 drop tickets a day, which is right now a drop ticket goes for about 11 or 12 ghost, which is about $23 to $25. We'll say $25. So if I have 4 of those a day, I'm earning $100 a day in those tickets that I can resell instantly, which is more than enough for me living in Nashville to be able to pay all my bills and just kind of like save and chill just from passively staking Ghost. And Ghost is amazing. It's pegged to a bonding curve. So there's like, it's kind of stable. While the rest of the market has actually been dropping 10, 15%, Ghost has gone up like 5% over the last few days. It's at $2.25, I believe, last I checked. So assuming Aavegotchi's a small market cap company, it's only, I think, 150, 160 million market cap for all the Ghosts. So, you know, I could see it going up. Like if it got near Axie, which is at 8 billion, then Ghost would be somewhere $50, $60, probably more than that per Ghost. So it's like, you know, that's then, you know, like the tickets go up, and then now I'm really living well off of my,
You could buy Nashville at that point.
The best strategy I ever heard. I love that.
Yeah, it's it feels safe, and it's like, you know, it's I have to get there. Like I would, at this point I would have to sell everything I have, which, I mean, we were talking earlier before we started the recording, like everything in this ecosystem from when I've jumped in has like increased in price like significantly. When I got in, Ghost was around like $1. It's now at $2.25. The wearables, like I bought wearables that were like 300 Ghosts that now are selling for 1,200 Ghosts in just 3 or 4 months. And like the common wearables, there are some that have 10x. So everything just continues to appreciate in price as more people come in, and the utility of the game, because it's not just a NFT that's like, you know, a profile picture NFT. It actually like, oh no, there's passive income to be made here. There's ways, there's like at least 30 different ways to like passively earn income playing this game, which is amazing.
Right. It's not like the William Shatner NFTs.
Yeah, 100%.
Those were interesting.
Sorry, yeah, I didn't know my mic was muted.
Oh.
But yeah, but that's awesome. I mean, a lot of people in the comment section were they really wanted to hear about this, and I think it's going to be a great video for people that are just starting out, that just heard about this. And I think we're going to wrap it up now, just because Zoom is telling me I only have a couple minutes left. But thank you so much, NoFuturistic, for coming on. Where can everybody find you?
Okay, I live on Twitter. I do this full time pretty much. So I'm No Future Photo on Twitter. All I do is talk Aavegotchi and NFT. So if you go there, you can sometimes leak alpha without even realizing I'm doing it. And then I'm an ambassador for Aavegotchi. So I run the Music City Gotchi Gang, which is a YouTube channel. I basically live stream all Aavegotchi events. Every week I host the Hangout in the Discord, where I interview community members and people from the dev team. So if you go to YouTube, Music City Gotchi Gang, you can see all the shenanigans. I freestyle on a lot of these on these recordings that we do for Aavegotchi. So you'll see me rapping and playing guitar and doing stupid shit. So I'm there.
Yeah,
Sounds
that's
like a good
awesome.
time.
I'll make sure to put your Twitter and your YouTube, everything in the description also.
Dope. Thank you so much for having me, guys.
Yeah,
You
thank
know,
you for
it's an
coming.
honor. Thank you, man.